Before I start the video, I want to tell you about my Discord server. It's a fun place where Ninjago fans gather and chat. We have many special games and events, so don't forget to join, link is in the description. Hello friends and welcome back to another video. So today's video is another part of the ranking series. This is the series where I rank an aspect from each season such as villains, intros, etc. So when future seasons get released, I don't remake each one of these videos and just make a ranking update. Anyways, today's ranking is ranking the villains' armies. There are 17 of these, so it'll take a good amount of time. Anyways, let's get started. At the very bottom we have the 100th Snake's army in the show. I don't know how they thought that including another Snake army is a good idea after 4 seasons of having them as the main villains, but they actually did it. And these are the worst Snake army that I've ever seen. They're extremely generic, nothing special at all, just random generic villains attacking Ninjago. Heck, even the Ninjago citizens didn't care for how generic and repetitive that was. Overall, very boring and repetitive army with no special qualities at all. I don't know if these even count as an army, but I'll include them. I barely have anything to say about these. I guess they have an interesting backstory, but it wasn't only introduced into the next season, not during their focus season. But the army itself is just okay. Mammotus is a very boring leader. Overall, a boring army. Ah yes, the original Ninjago villains. These are probably the only comic relief army. So yeah, I guess that shows you why they are at the bottom of the list. These are the 2011 villains, but in black and less silly. So, wait, are these actually snakes? We had fire snakes in season 11, so these are water snakes? Again? Now moving from hilariously bad villains to decent ones, I like the idea of the main villains being AIs and NPCs from a video game, but I'm not a big fan of technology and robots and this stuff, so I have to put them a bit lower on the list. The final new Ninjago army we are going to talk about. And to be honest, I noticed that all new Ninjago armies are exactly the same, but just with different designs and concepts, so it makes sense why they are all at the bottom. Blizzard Samurai are just okay. I like Vex and the other guy whose name I forgot, but yeah, overall okay army. Now let's start with the OG Ninjago stuff. I already said that I'm not a big fan of robots, but the Ninjas are honestly some of Ninjago's most iconic villains. Cryptor is a good leader and Main Droid is kinda funny, but yeah, they are an average Ninjago army. I have an unpopular opinion about the Vermilions. I actually like them. I love the idea of them getting in shape back together after you destroy one of them. They are also the definition of one being strong, but an army is unstoppable. We saw how strong one of them alone is and how strong they are as an army. I also love the strategic vibe of them, and these are one of the only armies that really feel like an army. They have generals and all 3 of them are decent. Overall, a pretty good army. The Stone Army has one of the best debuts ever. I love how they came out from the ground and caused earthquakes. They can be a bit generic, but unlike other armies, at least I like how strong and menacing they are. Gozer is a pretty good leader, and I like their camp too. Pretty good army. The Oni are one of Ninjago's most underrated villains. I think that they are Ninjago's main army overall. They are literal demons. They are so cool that our group is called after them, the Bringers of Doom. Their defeat was also pretty cool and made a lot of sense. The Oni were being built up and hyped up since season 8 and it might be kinda disappointing that we didn't see much of them, but what we saw wasn't really that bad. They deserve to be Ninjago's most important army. Probably an unpopular opinion, but I really like the Serpentine. I really like that they are different tribes and each tribe has its own designs, special powers and even generals. The concept of Python trying to reunite the tribes was also pretty cool. They weren't really that great in season 1, but at least they became even better in season 2 and they also have pretty good concepts. Pretty good army. The Sky Pirates are pretty cool. I like the idea of the pyramid and each one of the Sky Pirates being more important than the other, but there are a few problems like the generals being a bit too stereotypical, especially Clancy Dogshank. And it was never explained how Nadakan expanded his crew and brought all the other pirates. The idea of the Sky Pirates is a bit creative. Overall, good army. Moving to the really good armies, the Ghosts are by far Ninjago's scariest villains. Their designs are so cool, but their abilities are even cooler. Soul Archer's arrows are so cool and frightening, and you also have Banshai screaming, which gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. I also love that their weakness is water. It creates for really interesting situations, such as when Nia made it rain in episode 48. The only problem with them is that they are a bit too unreal, especially compared to other villains, but even with that I like them quite a bit. Moving to the top 3, we are moving from good to amazing armies. One of the countless reasons why Tournament of Elements is one of the uniquest seasons is because the main army didn't really appear until the second to last episode, but Shin's cultists were also a lot of fun. You have Zugu, Izor, and even Kapow and Chop are one of Ninjago's funniest duos. The idea of them being normal humans with no super duper magical abilities was very refreshing and made season 4 more realistic. Then when they became Anacondrae, they were even better because we saw how strong the Anacondrae are after 4 seasons of them being portrayed as these undefeated warriors, and they didn't disappoint. Amazing army. The Dragon Hunters are also very unique, because they are the only army that never really wanted to take over or destroy Ninjago, and they didn't even come to Ninjago, so it was very refreshing to get an army like this. The imported figures are all very awesome, and the Iron Baron Jet Jack dynamic is similar to the Nadaka and Flintlock dynamic, but even better. Heavy Metal was so awesome and had an amazing plot twist that was very unexpected. You also have Daddy No Legs, and the others who are all really cool. There's just people who are hunting dragons to stay alive, and they aren't specifically evil or anything, and that's another thing I like about them. An amazing army. And finally, we have the Sons of Garmadon. These are the Sky Pirates but 10 times better. Mr. E is Flintlock but better, Ultraviolet is Dogshank but better, and Kalo is Doubloon but better. The whole mystery of who's the Quiet One and who's their leader was one of Ninjago's best plots and created for countless amazing theories and guesses. The idea of Motorbikers gang is really creative. They were also the main villains for 2 seasons, which allowed for a lot more development and screen time, and we can't forget that they are the only villains who actually won. Really interesting army. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. This is a more of an series video, especially the first half. I tried to make something different and I hope that you liked it. So yeah, don't forget to tell me in the comments what you think of this video and what are your favorite armies. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share to friends, and I'll see you next time.